Drag racing is the most dramatic test of automotive perfection.
When I get here, it's just like stepping back in time and being a kid again, you know, a teenager.
Drag races in the history of the event.
David, brother, here we find each other in Lyons, Indiana, Wagler Motorsports Park, one of the most beautiful and pristine places we go to on the circuit. And I noticed when I came in, not a single speck of trash nowhere. This place is flawless.
It was flawless, and last night we saw in testing, I mean, the stars were out. There's not a cloud in the sky today. We have a great day for racing.
That we do, David. And we've got Ohio George Montgomery, the pilot of the Malco Gasser, as our Grand Marshal. That's spine-tingling.
Bringing that form of history in here to what we're trying to recreate from 1967 is absolutely a credit to what the work Tim Ellison has done to get him here, and Quayne Stott and all the crew. He is a remarkable man to talk to.
But we can't forget about Sam Jones. We've got two Gasser drag racing greats of the world, in my opinion, at this one facility. And Sam Jones being the founder or owner, operator with his son Jeff, and then Chris Grace, a partner with hers in one-way head technology, not only building heads that these guys use, but also sponsoring this race.
Yeah, they went and built a specific head for Southeast Gassers, just like Hoosier Racing Tire did for our Super Stock division, and that is to be applauded by them. And also, you know, we got to applaud. We're here in the Hoosier State, the home of Hoosier Racing Tires, and all the credit that they've given us by building this tire for Super Stock.
And that goes to be said. Hoosier Tires also a contingency sponsor in all of the Gasser categories as well as Super Stock. And thank you, Hoosier. You know, your support here has been tremendous, and your tires are, like always, the best. So, David, I think it's time to close this out. We got a whole new recording team this weekend. You know, Trent from Rod and Culture Magazine and his entourage. So, you know, we're looking to get this better. We're going to say farewell to Brad. It has done wonderful and great for us. Absolutely no burned bridges there. Brad had a bigger opportunity, and we are happy and proud for him.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what kind of work Trent Sherrill and his crew have put together. I've been very impressed meeting them, and can't wait to see what the finished product looks like today. And we're ready for some hot drag racing.
Let's get drag racing underway, and we'll see what Trent and the guys come up with afterwards. So off to racing we go. Thank you very much.
Before we start round one, we'd like to thank our wonderful sponsors. Matt Ivonic in the Warhorse gonna take on Zach Long in the Brass Monkey. Zach Long out of Leesville, South Carolina, gonna be in that Brass Monkey in the left lane. Matt Ivonic gonna be in the right lane. Zach painting that car up just like the car's name is, a brass paint job on that car out of Leesville, South Carolina. And the Warhorse, a car that used to run in the 60s. Matt Ivonic bringing it out here now. I think this is the third race he's raced with us in the Super Stock category. Zach Long getting way out of shape right there. Zach pushed the clutch in. Man, that's a lot of car to handle right there, as that car got to sashaying around and going sideways. A good save right there by him, but him going in a crooked line down through there puts Matt Ivonic on to the next round. Mark Hackett in that 1965 Mercury Comet Caliente with that beautiful cream color on there. That car has won 2 races this year in our Super Stock division, the first 2 races of the year, and he's going to make a bye run right here, as he did not have competition, but he is trying to make a run for lane choice. Dale Morton in the Lucille 1957 Ford going to take on Mike Wyatt, the Soul Sacrifice. New paint job on that car out of Dana, Indiana, and a good-looking paint job it is. And there you see the Lucille car of Dale Morton out of Mooresville, North Carolina. Good start by Dale Morton right there, as you see the car length advantage he has. And here comes that big horsepower in that Galaxy 500. Looks like Mike Wyatt may have overtook him at the big end. Let's see what the tape tells us here. The wind light's going to go too. Man, that's a close one to call. Looks like Mike Wyatt takes the win right there. Robert Peffley in the 4-speed Stampede, our number 1 qualifier, taking on Bobby Frizzell right here in round number 1. Bobby Frizzell out of Anderson, South Carolina. And another Indiana Hoosier right here, Robert Peffley, the winner of the last 4 races that we've had here in the Southeast Gassers. So this guy's on a hot streak, and Bobby Frizzell trying to knock him off in that big Galaxy 500. Something goes wrong as you see that Galaxy nose over, and Robert Peffley moves on for the win. Brian Olds out of Ripley, Tennessee in that CUDA going to take on the other Peffley in competition here today, and that is Dallas Peffley, the senior man of the group in the Grumpy B, the 1967 Plymouth Belvedere wagon, and undoubtedly something breaks on the starting line for Brian Olds, and there you see him pushing him back. Must be something in the drivetrain because he never got off the line, and Dallas Peffley moves on. All right, Leslie Horn in first round action going to take on Kevin Shaw in the odd rod right here. Leslie Horn in the stud muffin. There you see him burning out, getting everything ready as we see a good down track shot of this race. Listen to those motors as they come through. I wanted to give you a little time to hear that, as I know that is a great sound. Leslie Horn, really, you see those Hoosier tires digging in. And we move to the next one. Jeff Jones in Mama's Pie Wagon, the 66 wagon here out of One Way Technologies, is going to be taking on Jim Eubanks in that underdog car. There you see a good shot of him in his first competition here, his first round ever of racing in the Southeast Gassers, and Jim Eubanks, the underdog out of Indiana, going to take on Mama's Pie Wagon. A couple of Hoosier runners right here. The One Way Technologies, Jeff Jones, his dad Sam, the innovator of One Way Technologies, and an absolute gasser legend himself. Jeff's got some big shoes to fill if he wants to be as good as dad, but man, that pressure got to him a little bit right there. Unfortunately, Jeff left before the tree started, and that's going to be a red light start for him. But listen to that car scream through there. Beautiful race car, really runs well. Unfortunately, the red light's going to put him on the trailer. George Miller in the Falcon Crazy going to take on Art Beeler in the Sour Grape. Art Beeler got a reserved motor, one that he doesn't really, it's not his normal motor. He put it in just to get here to be at this race. Very important for him. He loves to race, but George Miller getting him a little bit on the drop right there, and that's going to be all it takes, as Art Beeler's going to be out early here in round one of competition as George Miller moves on. And there you see the finish line camera telling you the tale as George Miller stretches it out on further down the 8th mile track. What a beautiful shot out of our drone of that race. And look at the fans in the stands and the cars in the parking lot as you can see the beautiful countryside. Continuing in C Gas, there's John Gilligan in the Penny Pincher, winner here 2 years ago, versus Tim Hall in the Scalded Dog out of Abbeville, South Carolina. And that Rambler is definitely a beautiful race car in the left lane. The Penny Pincher of John Gilligan going to be in the right lane. And Gilligan, this is one of basically his home track right here, as he hails from up here in the Indiana, Illinois area. But late on the starting line is John Gilligan, and that's all it's going to take for Tim Hall to win this round of competition. The Scalded Dog Rambler is back with some bite here today as he moves to round number 2. Again, another good shot, as you see, just right off the start. Tim Hall got that race under control and just continued to stretch it out. Todd Oden, our 2017 champ in the Double X 58 Delray, going to take on Doug Capps in the 65 Mustang Coupe, the Dark Horse, and he hails out of Powell, Tennessee in that Dark Horse car. Also a winner in Southeast Gasser competition multiple times is Doug Capps. So this one's going to be no easy pushover for the world champ from 2017 in round number 1. Todd Oden out of Birmingham, Alabama. There you see him get started, and looks like we had a stall or something happened to Capps on the starting line. And that being said, Todd Oden is going to move on to round number 2. Listen to that big Delray as it gets down the racetrack. Jimmy Huff in the Hoopty Wagon, a 64 Ford Falcon wagon, going to take on Cynthia Phillips, the Flower Power out of Columbus, North Carolina. There's the Loganville, Georgia runner, Jimmy Huff, noted engine builder and dog lover in the Hoopty Wagon. And the Flower Power, what a beautiful 56 Chevy campaigned by Cynthia Phillips in the right lane. Cynthia with a good start right there. Good race right here. Looks like Cynthia Phillips may be moving on. That was a close race, as you could tell by our finish line camera. Another great shot as you see the drone pull out, and Cynthia Phillips moves on. Dwight McGuire in the Steel Lady, a 47 Nash Coupe, is going to be racing Billy Edwards, our number one qualifier right here. And welcome to Southeast Gassers, Dwight McGuire, as you're going to jump on a absolute buzzsaw right here in Billy Edwards. As you see Billy doing a little dry hop right there, getting everything ready, as he knows what kind of RPMs he wants to leave the line with. McGuire already in there. Billy Edwards coming in, the number one qualifier right there in the Thunder Road Chevy, that 1955. A little bit of a stumble by Billy Edwards on the starting line. Still a lot of horsepower under the hood. And you hear it screaming through the finish line. And Dwight McGuire will be an early casualty here in round one. B Gas running into round number one. We got Lee Vickery in the canned heat taking on Todd Rosenberry out of Pennsylvania in that 2 bumpy car. And there's the canned heat car. Looks like it's a tribute car straight out of 2-lane back blacktop right there. Is Lee Vickery out of Hodgenville, Kentucky. Brings that race car into the left-hand lane. And Rosenberry out of Pennsylvania, again, as we said, bringing his car up, the 2 bumpy. Rosenberry, owner of Todd's Body Shop up there, and you can tell by that paint job, he knows his way around a spray booth, does Rosenberry. Rosenberry in the right lane, and again, Lee Vickery in the left. Good lead by both drivers. Man, this is a good drag race right here as they get down the racetrack. Who's it going to be? Listen at the end. Todd Rosenberry winding it up and winning right there, round number one. He'll move on to round two. Michael Walters coming up next in Papa's Wild Willis at 41 Willis is going to take on our 16-year-old runner and newcomer to the Southeast Gassers, and that's going to be Colby Welch right there as you see him in that Ranchero. And what a story behind this. Hope you get a chance to do some reading on our Southeast Gasser Facebook page. But the 16-year-old Colby Welch saw us out here last year and went on a mission working 2 jobs and trying to get his money together to run. There's his girlfriend right out front bringing him into the beams as she has embraced the backup girl life. And Colby Welch wins this one by virtue of a red light as Michael Walters started too early. Todd Napier in the Atomic Hillbilly out of Oliver Springs, Tennessee, going to take on Ronald Drake in that Bad Medicine Falcon. And, buddy, let me tell you, this is a contrast in paint styles. It's the flat black on the Atomic Hillbilly and the wonderful, beautiful Metal Flake paint job on that Bad Medicine. I've joked often that Bad Medicine paint job has got enough Metal Flake in it right there to make a bass boat jealous. And you see it shining under this Indiana sunshine right here as the Atomic Hillbilly coming to the line, header stuck out the side and everything, as that car has really been doing better. And here we go with that race right here. Man, big start right there for Todd Napier. And Napier winds it up on the top end and streaks away to the victory. Ronald Drake going to hit the trailer early, but both guys getting the wheels off the ground, as you see there. And the next pair up is going to be Gary Smith in the Chicken Bone 1951. Henry J. out of Leesville, South Carolina. He made the long pull to be here for our Indiana fans, and he's going to take on none other than T.J. York in the Greenhorn Hillbilly, sitting number 3 in points right now is T.J. York. Both cars taking their time getting in. Looks like Gary left too early. That clutch just unable to hold on, Gary. Stay off the wall as he's able to do that. Looks like he just had his clutch pull him through right there, and he red lights. James Beard out of Ripley, Tennessee in the Obsolete 2. Those guys been doing a lot of work on that race car, trying to get it in a better shape, and there you see a good smoky dig right there, getting those tires hot and those big Hoosiers ready. And he'll be taking on Kelvin Cannon out of Elizabethton, Tennessee in the Loose Cannon 1933 panel. Kelvin Cannon, an absolute master fabricator and builder of these race cars, has put together another beautiful piece with the help of Rocky Platt. So the Platt and Cannon Racing right here, as that car gets down the racetrack, I don't know if he's got enough. Looks like it's going to be James Beard moving on there. And you see the next pair coming up is going to be Tim Bailey in the Alley Cat 2, taking on Brian Rossnett, a newcomer who just purchased, yes, that car looks familiar, It is still in the paint scheme of the Southern Flyer. Brian bought that car recently from Gabriel Burrow and has been thrashing to get it here. And there you see Tim Bailey making quick work of him. But I know he'll be doing better as he has more time to work on that car. Good luck to you, Brian, and we hope to see you at another Southeast Gasser event very soon. All right, Gordon Rundle in that suspect device. The Barracuda with the mechanical fuel injection is going to take on Rod Bergner in that car out of Texas, the Undertaker, a former ICE drag racing car. And there you see that aforementioned mechanical fuel injection stacks sitting up on top right there. And that is a awfully daunting task right there. And the Undertaker, Rod Bergner, knew that he had to go and attack the tree, and he got a little too aggressive as he turns on the red light, and red means dead here in the Southeast Gassers. And Gordon Rundle moves on to the next round. There you see already out front and started too early. Jerry Birch in the Freebird going to take on Tony Zampata out of Chicago, Illinois in that 51 Henry J by the Vail Conklin group right here. And there's Jerry Birch taking off. Looks like Zampata had some trouble up there on the starting line. Don't know what that might be. Unfortunately, hate that for Tony. He only gets out here a few times with us, and unfortunately going to have to be on the trailer early in this one. Ray Fossil in the Bustin' Loose going to take on Sean McLemore out of Clinton, Tennessee in the Foul Bird. There you see the Foul Bird right there coming out of Clinton, Tennessee. That wonderful-looking Falcon right there being backed up by the backup girl, Elizabeth Noel, who helps us so graciously. The Foul Bird. Looks like something happened to Ray Fossil in his burnout. He's not going to be able to make it. So there you go. There's a bye run for the Foul Bird as Ray Fossil unable to make the call for the race right here. Unfortunate for Ray as he does a good job being out here with us and has worked real hard to get his car back. And we hope to see him back from Dandridge, Tennessee very soon. Mike Blackwell, the number one qualifier in the Smokin' Sam. By virtue of being that number one qualifier, he will get a bye run right here. And if I know Mike Blackwell, after that burnout he just pulled off, he's not going to lay down. Let's listen to this run. There's that horsepower out of the Par Racing engines. Sounds like a beautiful serenade at the top end right there as that car gets through the lights. All right, A-Gas round one. Barry Lynn, Greer, South Carolina in the Little Red Wagon. The 65 two-door Chevelle wagon going to take on Sam Gable out of Atlanta, Georgia right here. And Sam Gable keeping that car as straight as he possibly can and taking the win here in round number one over Barry Lynn is Sam Gable. Look at that car get out of shape. Gable doing a great job winding it back into the groove right there. Those wheels up start. Just what Quayne Stott wanted, making these cars hard to drive. Zach Hall in that beautiful 55 Chevy that he and his dad Ron put together over the winter time is debuted this year here with the Southeast Gasser. Going to take on Spinny 2 of Steve Davis out of Monroe, North Carolina. And he'll be in the left lane, and Zach Hall will be in the right. That car out of Hall Chassis Engineering. And, man, Zach just too amped up right there. Leaves well before the light turns green. And that's going to propel Steve Davis into the next round. Just letting you listen to some of those guys getting through those gears right there. What a beautiful sound it makes. But just too soon on the trigger. Gabriel Burrow, the Southern Flyer, taking on Eddie Eubanks in the Gunslinger. That 51 Henry J right there, the Gunslinger. You saw his brother, Jim Eubanks, in C-Gas. Now this is Eddie in A-Gas, and there they are running together, fulfilling a lifelong dream of being out here racing four-speed cars in the Southeast Gassers. And there you see Gabriel Burrow doing a good burnout, and Eddie Eubanks getting ready for his first round of competition here in A-Gas. Good lead by both cars. What a run right there. Listen to these cars get down the racetrack. Gabriel Burrow taking the win right there, and still another shot. As you see him just stretch it out as he gets through second and third gear. Really good lead right there. Look at those wheels in the air for Gabriel Burrow. Jeff Jacobson, so glad to see him. Last year's winner here at Lyons Dragway in the 55 Ford Fairlane. And Todd Blackwell in the slingshot, winner of our race at US 43 Dragway earlier this year in Etheridge, Tennessee. So our defending champ from this event last year, making the trip down from Wisconsin to be here from Beloit, Wisconsin. He gets to jump on the slingshot, and it looks like that's enough to take the win. Good finish right there. Love to let you listen to those cars and let you experience here at home and through YouTube what we hear on a daily basis at these races. Dean Jonas in the Agent Orange out of Belmont, North Carolina, going to take on Troy Leitner in the Shake and Bacon out of Liberty, South Carolina. Another 51 Henry J. And Troy Leitner getting a huge hole shot advantage over Dean Jonas. Can Jonas run him down? No, he cannot. As Dean Jonas knew better of it, thought he'd push the clutch in and save it so he would save his motor for the next race we've got coming up in Mooresville, North Carolina. And that Shake and Bacon really streaks away. Kenneth Phillips, talking about streaks, there's the Silver Streak 2, and he's going to take on Todd Oden in the Double Down 57 wagon here in round number 1. You don't really expect to see these two guys running in the first round, as both of them in the top 3 in our point standings right now in A gas. Man, that car, Todd Oden's getting really out of shape down low. Watch it again as you see that car leave and go to the right, go to the left. Todd Oden having a short shift and get a handful of wheel. And Kenneth Phillips takes the win in the Silver Streak 2. Look at those tires wrinkle on the sides for both cars. And it's a great shot right there by our photographer, none other than Caleb Sewell of SewellImagery.com. Frequent flyer, the number 1 qualifier. And there you saw Hoosier right there on the side. That's what he's running on the back of that Corvette. And there you hear those big power horsepower winding through the top end. As we head into second round, we'd like to thank our wonderful sponsors. Mark Hackett going to take on Mike Wyatt here in round number 2. Mark Hackett, the winner of the first 2 races of the year. As we said before, taking on Mike Wyatt, who is making his 2019 debut with us with that new paint job. Been running with us before, but this is his first time out this year. New paint job on the Soul Sacrifice. Is that going to be enough to beat Mark Hackett right here? What a good race. You see him come to the stripe. Looks like Mark Hackett takes the win right there. And we'll get another shot of it right here at the finish line. Just by about a half a car length, Mark Hackett moves on. Robert Peffley in the 4-speed Stampede is going to get a bye run right here by being the virtue of being the number 1 qualifier. He's going to take the left lane and run it through, making a good pass, trying to get lane choice. Dallas Peffley in the Grumpy B going to be taking on Matt Ivonic in the Warhorse here in round number 2 of Super Stock action. There you see him coming around the bend. Looks like Ivonic's going to be in the right lane. Just love that. I'm a forward guy, so I love that fastback right there. 66 fastback, the Warhorse. This is the 3rd race he's made with us here in Superstock. Is Matt Ivonic, and he's got a big matchup right here. Is he going to try to knock off Peffley? And too much Plymouth horsepower underneath the hood right there as he takes about a wagon length victory in Superstock. George Miller in the Falcon Crazy taking on Jim Eubanks, the underdog.
How you feeling so far now?
Car's still feeling pretty good, so we're going to get out there and see what we can do again.
How was the temp?
In the car?
Yeah.
Pretty hot.
What about the car itself? How's it running a little cool?
It's running hotter than it normally does. It's running up around 210, 220, so it usually stays around 180.
There we see George Miller going through the burnout process right there, getting those big Hoosiers nice and sticky as he's getting ready to take on the Undertaker. I mean, the underdog, the Undertaker, the underdog. We've got so many cars now, we're getting them confused. The underdog of Jim Eubanks making his debut here today in C Gas, trying to give him all he can give him in that 50 Chevrolet. But there goes George Miller in that One Way Technologies motor provided by Sam Jones. There's a good sound coming through the beams right there. George Miller turning it up.
First time, second round win for you?
First time up here in the interview process, so I'm pretty excited about that. Car's running great. I want to make sure I thank my dad and both my brothers, Kurt Nolan and Keith Miller. We've been putting a lot of time in this car, and it feels great to actually make it into the second round here.
Well, we know that you've been with us for several races so far, and that's why it's our pleasure to get to interview you finally also, George. Congrats, brother. We'll be looking for you in the
All right, there's
round.
the double X of Todd Oden, our 2017 world champion in that 1958 Del Rey. Going to take on Abbeville, South Carolina's very own Tim Hall in the Scalded Dog Rambler. The 60 Rambler in the right lane. There you see his dad right out front getting him into the beams, getting ready to go. Christy Burchett helping Todd Oden. Looks like Tim Hall got a good advantage right there. And there's your margin of victory in the One Way Technologies finish line cam.
Tim Hall, Scalded Dog, is just that, putting Todd Oden on the trailer, a past world champion. Brother, you know, this whole thing, this Rambler just keeps getting more and more impressive.
Did a pretty good job. I'm still having a hard time getting the grip down there on the starting line, but I owed him that one. He put me out down at Baylortown in the finals when I didn't have fourth gear, so I told him when I had all four legs working I was going to get him, and I got him back today. So
you saying the Scalded Dog is actually faster on four legs and not three?
Yeah, it does better on four legs, a whole lot better.
And you got Todd paid one back. We'll look for you in the next round. Good job, Tim.
Leslie Horn, the stud muffin, going to take on Cynthia Phillips in the Flower Power right here in that 56 Chevy. She'll be in the right lane, and there's the stud muffin burning them out really hard in the left lane. Something must have gave way right there with Cynthia Phillips. Leslie Horn moves on to the next round. Don't know what might have happened to the Flower Power car. Hopefully she'll be back with us at Mooresville Dragway for our next event coming up on August the 17th.
That's it. Leslie Horn, old stud muffin, brother, I tell you, I understand Cynthia may have been taking a pot shot at you up there, knowing she's got to go, turning that thing red.
Yeah, she was taking a pot shot at me, but, it's what you got to do sometimes. But I was ready for her, too. I was going to try to do the best I could do with her, so she's not nobody to take lightly, that's for sure.
Sounded to me like you maybe had an issue yourself getting down the track.
Yeah, I did. I tried to go from second to first. It don't work out too good when you do that sometimes. It wants to spin the wheel backwards. This next round, I think I got Mr. Wonderful there in that orange car. That's going to be a great final. I promise you. Better be watching.
That one's been brewing for a while.
That one's been brewing, and there won't be two people here on this planet that'd rather outrun the other one worse. So we'll leave it all on the line.
We'll just keep that as clean as we can.
Best list. Sounds good. Thank you. Thank you, Southeast Gas.
Jerry Bird's going to take on Sean McLemore in the foul bird. This is the battle of the birds right here. You got the free bird and the foul bird.
Jerry, the old Purple Haze strikes for 2 rounds in a row up here in Indiana, brother. Good job. I understand you won that one start to finish.
Yeah, we've been spinning a good bit. The previous one, so it felt good. I wanted to run it through, see what it's got for the later rounds.
So you think that the track is coming around a little bit?
It's coming around. It was bad there at the beginning, but they worked with it. We worked with it, and it's coming around.
Looks like the Birch brothers may have figured it out either way it goes.
We're going to try.
Mike Blackwell in the Smoking Sam going to take on the 16-year-old newcomer, Colby Welch in the Moonbeam car, the Ranchero there, it would be gas. Now the 16-year-old Colby Welch is brand new to us, worked extremely hard after seeing our event here last year, and he jumps on Mike Blackwell, the #1 qualifier right there, and that just proves to be too much car horsepower under the hood for the Smoking Sam.
Mike Blackwell, old Smoking Sam, I gotta tell you, David Lancaster was just raving over the radio up there. He said, I believe that's the best run I've ever seen that car make, and that's a pretty strong statement.
It is, yeah, it sure is, yeah. But big thing I've done that I've been consistent.
Hey, I tell all the new guys that come in this, if you'll do the same thing every time, there's a very high probability the car will.
Just work on it, yeah. Just work on it. That's right, exactly, yeah. And that's what I've been doing. The last couple of races, I kill myself. So.
You know, we do that in life anyway.
We do. That's exactly right. Yeah, that's right.
Well, congratulations, Mike, brother. I mean, from your qualifying position of number 1 with a nice, healthy margin, this just ought to be your day.
Thank you much.
Colby, brother, it may be a second round loss, but it was a first round win. And I wanted to give you a congratulations, brother. I didn't want today to go by. We're, again, happy to have you, and I know this will be just the beginning of a wonderful experience for you.
Thank you.
Tim Bailey, the Alley Cat 2, our current points leader, going to take on Todd Rosenberry in that 2 bumpy right here in round number 2. A couple of great-looking race cars there. You see Rosenberry out of Pennsylvania, Tim Bailey out of Southern Pines, North Carolina, right up in that Rockingham area. He gets the drop on him on the line, and that's going to be all that he needs. As you see the margin of victory right there, Tim Bailey taking it to the win right here. Looks like Rosenberry had a little trouble and stumbled on the line, and Todd is going to be put on the trailer. James Beard out of Ripley, Tennessee, in that obsolete 2, going to take on Todd Napier in the Atomic Hillbilly in round 2 action. There you see Elizabeth Noel helping out Todd Napier. James Beard sitting there. His dad's already got him in the beams. Good drag race right here. Both cars leaving together. And looks like Todd Napier takes the win right at the stripe. What a good drag race right there, and that's what Southeast Gasser action is all about. Here you see some of the fans in a packed house loving what they're seeing here in B-Gas. Right here, T.J. York, the Greenhorn Hillbilly out of Ohio, going to take on Gordon Rundle in the suspect device in that big CUDA with the mechanical fuel injection, and that is something really neat. Got some people taking the Greenhorn Hillbilly in this one. Let's see if he's got enough to make these fans' wishes come true. Good start right there. T.J. York, he just blows the doors off of the suspect device coming out of the beams right there, and that is all he's going to need as he moves to the 3rd round of competition here today at Wagler Motorsports Park.
T.J. York, brother, out here picking on our newcomers. Those suspect device, putting him on the trailer.
Man, that was a good race. That was short shifting, trying to get it down through there, sliding around, but we got the win, so it was a pretty fun ride.
Well, everybody out here knows this racetrack is tricky or technical. Whatever term you want to give it, that means that it's going to be, I think, best driver, best tuner winner today.
That's for sure. I got to go back here and learn something real quick.
Good job, TJ. We'll be looking for you next round.
Alan Gaulden moving into A-Gas right here, going to take on Sam Gable in the Moonshot. Alan Gaulden, the number 1 qualifier here, and has been an absolute juggernaut for people to try to figure out here in A-Gas. Winner of every race he's attended so far this year. Only missed our London, Kentucky race. Good start right there by Gaulden. And listen to that big high winder. Oh, he moves toward the center line really hard right there at the top end. And Alan Gaulden able to rein it back in.
Alan Gaulden, it looks like the Swamp Monster strikes again, brother. I mean, this is one of the trickiest, more technical racetracks we've been on all year long. You guys still qualify number 1. You still making rounds so far. Business as usual.
Yeah, I might have lost lane choice for the next round on that one right there. I let the clutch out. It left pretty good, but as it accelerated down the track, every time I pull a gear, it just kept spinning worse and spinning worse. And I actually lifted and kind of just drove it out through 4th gear to keep from crossing the center line.
Well, David Langston was raving about keeping the car off of the center line and all over the racetrack as you was progressing down.
Yeah, it's definitely slippery out there. I mean, we're having to back it down to get down the track, but that's what it takes, and I'm glad we won this round.
Well, when you got that kind of power and you back it down a little, you still got more power than anybody else.
Well, we're working on it still, so we're going rounds.
Gabriel Burrell in the 31 sedan called the Southern Flyer. Going to take on Troy Leitner right here in the Shake and Bacon 1951 Henry J out of Liberty, South Carolina. This is going to be a good race right here. Just love the way that Henry J looks. And look at it leave the line. That is one of the better runs I've seen that Henry J make, but too much Jimmy Hump horsepower right here in the left lane. as you see Gabriel Burrow streak away to victory. The Columbus, North Carolina runner takes the margin of victory right there at the stripe.
Troy Leitner was giving you all that you wanted.
Yeah, he went in and double bulbed me. I was still doing a burnout, and he already had both bulbs lit. So I sit there and got my head right and bumped the first one in, bumped the second one on, and I assume I left on him too. So,
according to David up there, he must have had his best pass performance-wise of the day, but apparently nothing to worry you with.
No, at 3:30 I couldn't see him no more, so we were good.
So Ford just pulled right on through.
And Jeff Jacobson, our defending event winner from last year, going to take on Kenneth Phillips in the Silver Streak 2. Kenneth Phillips out of Campobella, South Carolina. And there you see the Beloit, Wisconsin native right there, Jeff Jacobson. What a beautiful race car he's put together with that Ford Edsel power under the hood. 427 Cammer motor. And there you see a big burnout right there by Kenneth Phillips. Fulton competition underneath the hood for him, as he has always been a campaigner for the Fulton competition in engines out of Spartanburg, South Carolina. Looks like Jacobson a little tardy on the line, and that's all Kenneth Phillips needs as he takes a victory in that right lane, and that Silver Streak moves on. What a good run right there for Kenneth Phillips. He's been battling a little bit of handling problems, and the car bouncing around on him a good bit. With the one-way technology finish line camera, and there you see Elizabeth Noel, his fiancée, very happy about that.
Talking to you has been a little bit sporadic this year, to say the best, you know. But, hey, you took out last year's champion up here, so that's at least something to toot your horn about.
Yeah, that's good. Boy, I'm just glad to go rounds. I ain't been going none, and I'm tickled to be out here going rounds.
Well, everybody's been talking about the technical or the tricky part of this racetrack. I know it has been for you, too. I've seen some of your test runs last night or qualifying today, but it looks like you're getting a hold of it. Things coming around, as I said. Jeff Jacobson, last year's champion on the trailer. Third round's what you looking for, and maybe we'll get to talk a little more frequently today.
I sure hope so. I had to put 100 pounds in the trunk just to get on the track.
Well, good thing nobody will see this until we leave this racetrack, and they won't know what to do.
We'll see.
All right, Steve Davis in that Spinny 2 car out of Monroe, North Carolina, going to get a bye run right here by virtue of his qualifying place. That Spinny 2 got the Steve Norwood horsepower under the hood there, 383 cubic inches of Chevrolet motor. And Steve Davis been working diligently with his crew and to get this car down the racetrack, and it has been performing well. There's another perfect example of it. Look how straight the car goes. Let you hear him get through those gears and that motor perform. Heading into the finals, here's some more of our great sponsors of today's race here at Mooresville. All right, third round of racing right here, our semifinals. Tim Hall out of Abbeville, South Carolina, going to take on Billy Edwards in that Thunder Road Chevy, hailing out of Inman, South Carolina. There's that beautiful scalded dog, the 1960 Ramblin' with that 310 cubic inch motor under the hood, taking on the 200 monster under that Thunder Road Chevy, that 55 of Billy Edwards, who'll be in the right lane. The vocational auto mechanics teacher of Tim Hall out of Abbeville, South Carolina in the left lane. And man, look at the lead right there by Billy Edwards. Tim Hall giving him all he can, but Billy Edwards streaking away at the finish line. There's a good shot from behind. Watching these cars get down the track, Tim Hall very straight, and Billy Edwards is your winner. Next pair of semifinals, George Miller in the Falcon Crazy, going to take on Leslie Horn in that stud muff in the 1962 Chevy 2 wagon with that Gene Fulton horsepower in there. There you see Robbins Repairables helping Leslie Horn get up and down the road in that stud muffin car and make that trip all the way out here at beautiful Wagler Motorsports Park in Lyons, Indiana. Horn's looking to go to the final so he can take on Billy Edwards. And man, there it was. The red light got turned on by Leslie Horn, leaving a little too soon as he knew he had to be on his P's and Q's for George Miller. And Leslie Horn turns the red light on, giving the win over to George Miller.
That has to feel a little bit like a gift. That's Leslie. He is tough.
That's unheard of to see something like that, but we'll take it. We made it as farthest we've ever made it. We're going to lose in the last round.
It looks looks like you're going to have Billy Edwards. He won the last one. Hey, you know, just go race him. Stand up, toe-to-toe. Anything can happen. That's exactly right. We're going to give it our best shot. Good job, George. We're tickled for you, brother. We'll be waiting to see how the finals turn out. Glad to see.
More round 3 action right here. B-Gas semifinals coming up. There's the T.J. York in the Greenhorn Hillbilly, that 55 Chevy, taking on Campobella, South Carolina racer Mike Blackwell in the Smoking Sam. And there you see him getting those big Hoosiers nice and sticky in that big burnout that he does every time. Making sure he's right in his track so he can get maximum launch. And he does right there as he leaves T.J. York at the line a little bit. Is that going to be enough to drive him through? Let's listen to these cars. Yes, the Smoking Sam takes a 1-car length victory. And look at that leave on the line, wheels up all the way. Next pair coming up, Tim Bailey, the Alley Cat, and Todd Napier in that Atomic Hillbilly. And as you see Tim Bailey getting that Alley Cat too, that 57 Corvette, getting it ready to go in competition. The Atomic Hillbilly out of Oliver Springs, Tennessee, of Todd Napier. That car has been totally gutted and gone through. The Napier family working real hard, and the performance is starting to come around on that Atomic Hillbilly. And there they come down the track. Listen to this. Love to hear those small blocks whine. And Tim Bailey's trunk lid actually coming up at the 3/4 track mark. I don't know if he was trying to get some more spoiler on that car for some downforce down track, but that car, that is ironic that happened. Great leave by both cars.
These aerodynamic secrets or tricks you're pulling out here with the deck lid on this Corvette coming up, but it seems to be working.
I can't get that thing to stay down. We've done everything welded shut. Fiberglass don't weld.
No, you're right. It don't weld too good.
I've even got it taped shut.
Jerry Birch here, by virtue of being the number 2 qualifier, going to have a bye run right here, so he will make it to the finals. He's going to go ahead and run that car through real hard, trying to get lane choice right here. Listen to it scream. What a beautiful sound you hear right there. Moving right into A-Gas as we continue right here, semifinals. Battle of the Silver Corvettes is Alan Gaulden in the Frequent Flyer out of Land O'Lakes, Florida, going to be in the left lane. And Kenneth Phillips out of Campobella, South Carolina, in the Silver Streak 2 will be in the right. Now, folks, we've seen these guys match up many times right here. This is Par Racing Engines horsepower underneath the hood of the Frequent Flyer, and Gene Fulton horsepower underneath the hood for the Frequent Flyer. There you see the Fulton competition tag right there on the back of that beautiful 58 Corvette of Kenneth Phillips. These cars right here, no stranger to competition, no stranger to semifinal and final round competition. Let's see who it's going to be. Is Kenneth Phillips going to be able to slay the dragon and knock this monster off? Wheels up, lead by both drivers. Kenneth Phillips getting a little out of shape, and that looks like that's all that Gaulden needed to streak away to a car length victory. There you see Kenneth getting a little out of shape right there, and that horsepower hard to contain. And that car length victory, or just a little more than a car length victory, Alan Gaulden moves into the finals. Look at the wheels up leave right there. Other pair of semifinalists, Steve Davis out of Monroe, North Carolina, in that Spinny 2 with the Steve Norwood horsepower underneath the hood. Going to take on Gabriel Burrell out of Columbus, North Carolina, with that Jimmy Huff horsepower underneath the hood of that 31 Ford sedan. And both of these cars have been really going down the track very straight, and they're starting to apply a lot of horsepower down the racetrack. This is going to be a big matchup. Steve Davis still trying to look for his first win, as well as Gabriel Burrell looking for his first win in Southeast Gasser competition. Good drag race right there. Man, that's too close to call. The light tells us that Gabriel Burrell won that race right there. Look at that margin of victory. That is how close it is in Southeast Gasser. A-Gas competition. Both cars leaving the line wheels up. As we move into Superstock, Mark Hackett out of Lebanon, Tennessee, in his 1965 Mercury Comet Caliente, the winner of our first 2 Superstock races of the year, going to take on the man that has absolutely been on a tear, and that's Robert Peffley in that 4-speed Stampede. Peffley has won the last 3 races, looking to make it 4 in a row here in his home state of Indiana, as the Hoosier native getting those Hoosier tires moving there, and Mark Hackett doing the same. This is a good drag race, folks. Look at it at half track. Man, what a good victory right there for Robert Peffley. Just about a half a car length to 3/4 of a car length as you see that 65 Plymouth Belvedere wagon move right along.
Robert Peffley, the deed is done, brother. That was a pre-final round takeout of Mark Hackett. That you needed to do. That can possibly give you some breathing room on the points.
I needed that. We've been tight all year. I wanted that round. I knew coming in this race with 9 cars it could end up that way. Me and Mark in a semifinal battle.
And Dallas Peffley in the Grumpy B, he's going to have a bye run.
I'm pumped.
Yeah,
It don't
well,
get better.
you know, you need this round against your dad. I'm telling you, I think your dad's ready to send you home with your tail between your legs.
He's ready. We've been working on his car all day. We changed tires on it. It wasn't hooking up. We got hooking up. He's going rounds. It's going to be a fun final.
It's going to be a Peffley final.
It's going to be a Peffley wagon final.
All right, Mike Blackwell in the Smoking Sam going to take on Jerry Birch in the Freebird right here as we are battling for a chance to move on into the next round. 5 rounds of competition is what it's going to take here today to win the B-Gas category. The Smoking Sam Par Racing engines out of Spartanburg, South Carolina, under the hood there for Mike Blackwell. And there you see his daughter-in-law bringing him into his starting position as he get ready to get into the beams. Going to run the Roebuck runner, the Freebird, Jerry Birch out of the Birch Brothers Racing over there. Also a Par motor under the hood there. And Mike Blackwell been uncharacteristic. Mike just leaves way too soon. So Mike Blackwell, a red light there. And Jerry Birch will move into the semifinals where he will get a bye into the finals. That is a very uncharacteristic move by Mike Blackwell. Just left way too soon. Actually, probably before the tree even activated.
Kind of means this should be for all numbers yours. Tim Bailey in the final.
You never ever take it for granted, but
but math
is we're gonna try to concentrate on cutting a good light, and it should be there.
Well, that'll be where he can beat you, so I'm sure that'll be his focus as well.
Good deal. We'll see.
Luck in the finals.
Heading into the finals, here's some more of our great sponsors of today's race here at Mooresville. All right, moving into our finals here for Super Stock. Got Robert Peffley in the 4-speed Stampede. There you see him burning out, getting those Hoosier tires hot. Running his dad, Dallas Peffley, in the right lane in the Grumpy B. A couple of Belvedere wagons right here going to take the action in Lyons Dragway, and you see Dallas getting the jump right there. Looks like something noses over, and Robert Peffley's going to take the championship trophy here today in Superstock. And both of these Indiana runners loving to be here at Lyons Dragway today. Robert Peffley for the win.
The deed is finally completely done. You know, I don't know if Dad was making it easy on you or what. I'm sure he wasn't, but the point is you put some much needed space between you and Mark Hackett.
Yeah, we needed the points. That's huge for us. It was awesome final getting to run your dad. We've been racing for 18 years together, never been in a final together, so that was awesome, something we're always going to take away, you know, that Sega was able to give us. And just good night of racing. 2 Indiana boys in the final in Indiana. You can't get any better than that.
Hey, you know, keep it all at home.
Exactly. You got to keep these Plymouth wagons in the winner's circle, one of them.
There is at least 50% or better of the time a Plymouth wagon in the final.
That's true. And we keep beating on these old cars, and we're going to get there. And you're going to see more of us, too, in the final. This has got to be, though, both our best days at the racetrack in a long time.
So, Dallas, what you do, breaking and making it easy on him, or you breaking it trying to outrun him?
I was trying to outrun him, and the clutch pedal's down on the floor. I never got it in 4th gear. I hit it, and the clutch pedal's laying on the floor.
Well, you know, then I even have more respect for you than ever did. You making him work. You making him earn it.
I was trying to. At least it broke against him in the final instead of earlier in the day. So.
Have you two race each other for the first time in the finals? Congratulations yet again on the victory up here.
Thank you, man.
With Southeast Gassers, Hoosier Tires back in this whole deal. Good job. We'll be looking for you at the next race.
All right.
Robert Peffley, 4 wins in a row in this Superstock category. You have got this thing by the throat right now.
We just take it a day at a time. Car's been consistent. We just keep doing the same thing, keep beating on it little by little, and it's getting us there.
Well, this 65 Belvedere is really responding to whatever you're beating on it with.
Yeah, we're trying. It's a big car to get moving, but we just keep working on the clutch and keep getting it down the track on these great Hoosier tires that are
made for this class.
Well, the Hoosier has put together a great tire to make it extremely competitive in here. We had more cars in our super stock category today than we ever have, and you again come out on the top.
Yeah, we had a great group of guys that made the drive to Indiana, and Hoosier sponsored this class. They does a great job for us, and we're just really proud of the super stock class.
Well, like I said, you've got it by the throat right now. Your winner today here in super stock, Robert Peffley, 4-Speed Stampede. All right, moving into our C-Gas Finals, Billy Edwards in the Thunder Road Chevy, our #1 qualifier and winner of the last race at Piedmont Dragway, going to take on George Miller in that Falcon Crazy, that 1962 Ford Falcon. He hails out of Indiana with that Sam Jones horsepower. The hood, One-Way Technologies, putting the heads on that Falcon right there. And there you see Elizabeth Noel backing up Billy Edwards, the Boiling Springs, South Carolina racer, in the right lane. And there's Christy Burchett, another one of our backup girls, backing up George Miller, helping him get right in the tracks that he laid down to make this burnout and stay in the racetrack. Billy Edwards with a little bit of a whole shot advantage, and that's all he's going to need. Listen to that small block whine through the end of the racetrack, and Billy Edwards wins for the second time in a row.
Well, Billy Edwards, brother, it is all of the superstition is maybe behind you for this race. One of them gentlemen who just has to do things the same every race, and so far it looks to be working out for you. And really good news is this brought you either tied or within absolute striking distance of Leslie Horn and the opponent.
That's it. That's where I wanted to be. I wanted to be within striking distance, so it puts me there. But I do want to thank my good friend David Sudeth, high school buddy. If he hadn't come with me, I wouldn't be here. Honestly, I was just so sick and give out, and he said, "You've got to go." He said, "I'm coming up, and I'm going with you." So we're here. We're in the finals and having a ball. It is just, it's wonderful, Mitch.
Well, there's no question of that, Billy. You ain't in the finals, brother. You have won the finals. You have won the finals, and I'm going to say thanks to David for, insisting you come. But the bigger surprise is you've got a friend that stuck with you since high school as well as I know you.
Really? And that's amazing, ain't it? That is amazing.
Good.
This is a Cinderella weekend, Mitch. This has been a Cinderella weekend.
Well, good for you.
It's been wonderful. It has been. I've had the most fun. Hung out with David, and we've talked about all the history, and it's just been wonderful. 2 in a row and winning. It really has, Mitch.
Well, Billy, it is a pleasure for me to announce you winner of 2 races in a row. Good to see you down here. They'll be waiting on you for pictures and trophy in the winner's circle, and we'll be there to catch up with you later.
Sounds good, Mitch. Thank you so much.
2 in a row, and winning cures a lot, doesn't it, Billy?
It helps a lot. It really does. It's been nice telling Mitch earlier. This has been a Cinderella weekend. My high school buddy, I wouldn't come in. I said the heat, the stuff at Carolina, it was too much for me. I couldn't handle it. And he said, "You got to go." He said, I'm coming up, and I'm coming with you. And that's the only reason I'm here with my buddy David Sudeth.
Well, David Sudeth must have had some forethought, because you set the woods on fire, #1 qualifier. You marched through the field, 5 rounds of competition, and you put this Thunder Road Chevy right back in victory lane.
The car is great. The driver sucks, but the car does. I'm on along for the ride. The car does it all. I'm just along for the ride.
Well, I know you got some sponsors you'd like to thank.
Yes, Burgers Backhoe Service, good friend Larry Floyd, anybody that helps me on this car, Kenneth's girlfriend. I mean, I get help from so many people. I've had so many calls this week. It's just, in the last 2 weeks, you can't give up. You're close on the points, don't give up. Just hang in there, and that's the reason I'm here.
Well, I know Gail's going to be real happy when you get home and bring his trophy back to Inman.
Yeah, so she's going to be tickled. Yeah, she wished she was here, but she said, "Look, y'all guys go," and we just throwed the car on an open trailer, pickup truck, headed to Indiana, and we won.
Bringing back the big hardware to Inman, South Carolina. Here's your winner today in C-Gas, Mr. Billy Edwards.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, B-Gas Finals right here. The 2 top runners, Tim Bailey and Jerry Birch. The Free Bird versus the Alley Cat. How many times have we seen this in our B-Gas Finals? There's that beautiful alley cat, too, of the Southern Pines, North Carolina native Tim Bailey. He'll be in the left lane, and that Freebird out of Roebuck, South Carolina of Jerry Birch will be in the right lane. Birch Brothers Engineering on the side right there. And, man, the good start by both cars. Who's it going to be at the finish? Man, the Freebird streaks away for the win right there. So there you see the margin of victory in our one-way heads finish line camera.
It's final, buddy. It's over. It's a long drive to Lyons, Indiana from South Carolina, and it's a long drive from qualifying to the final round win up here in B-Gas competition. Congratulations, brother. You and brother Joey have pulled it off yet again. I don't know where this puts you in points, but I know that's got to be rising you to the top.
Catching them at 5 at a time. 5 at a time. We just got to thank the Lord for a good race and watching over Jeffrey, and it was just a good day. And like I say, if we keep meeting in the finals, it'd be hard for me to catch him, but we're going to keep trying. That's what we're here for.
Of course, you're referencing Jeff Madden. Yes, our prayers are out for him, but we think he's okay, and we pray he's okay.
Did have some good news. I heard from his partner that he's on his way back. So.
Really? That's wonderful news. Well, you know, praise the Lord for that on Jeff's, and congratulations to you yet again, Jerry, and the Purple Haze team. We'll be catching up with you in a little bit in the winner's circle. Good job.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations, Jerry and Joey Birch. This makes an even dozen in your Southeast Gasser career now. That's 12 wins. And this thing has been on mean.
Yep, we had a good day. We got to thank the Lord, you know. And he watched out for us. He watched out for Jeff, you know. Got word that, you know, gonna run a few more tests, but and all in all, he's doing good. Got to thank our sponsors. Couldn't do it without them. Grill 221, 295 Food and Spirits, Blue Sky Wholesale, Glen Springs Farms, Abrasive Blasting and Coating in the Walter family, and of course Joey. I couldn't do it without Joey.
Well, that's part of the beauty of this.
Yeah.
The Purple Haze is reigning again, and Joey Birch, you got it right there on your sleeve, brother. Man, you really turning the wrenches in a good way on this car.
Well, if we get home and take it apart and it hadn't broken, it'd be the first time this year. So Jerry's killing it driving. He was perfect today. He couldn't have done any better job. So it was all on him.
Well, those sponsors you named really getting their money's worth and putting it in victory lane all these times. But guys, you and I both know there's a lot of legacy here, and I'm proud to see it really shining through. And congratulations on your win today here in B-Gas at Wagler Motorsports Park. We're glad for you.
Appreciate it, buddy. Appreciate it.
Your winners today, the Birch Brothers right here, Roebuck, South Carolina, in B-Gas. All right, into the A-Gas Finals, there's that 31 Ford sedan of Gabriel Burrell, the Southern Flyer, taking on Alan Gaulden, the Frequent Flyer. Both these cars looking to fly into the finals right here as they've made it here. Who's it going to be in this one? Big matchup. Gabriel Burrell absolutely tattoos him on the tree. And at the stripe. Gabriel Burrell loses at just the last moment. Alan Gaulden comes by. Look at his finish cam. Just the most narrow of margins, and Alan Gaulden takes the win here today.
Just talking to Jerry Birch, it's a long drive from South Carolina to Indiana. It's an even further drive from Florida to Indiana, and it's definitely a long drive from qualifying to the final win in A-Gas competition. Congratulations. How many times in a row now, Alan? You guys are just absolutely magnificent, brutal killers, swamp monsters, all in one.
Well, it was a tough race. Gabe's a tough racer, and we working our ass off at the shop trying to make this thing run, but I let the clutch out, and he was way out in front of me, and I was, you know, spinning the tires, but I knew if I let off, he was going to take the win, so I was driving my ass off to try to get to the finish line first, but that was an exciting race. It's always tough racing Gabe.
Well, there's no question about that. You know, as I said, Gabriel did strike at you hard. I don't know the exact numbers, but David Lancaster was telling me over the radio, Gabriel Burrell leaving him on the starting line, but Gaulden Power driving back around. So, I mean, either way, buddy, it's a win, and it's multiple wins in a row. You have severely padded your championship points. I don't know where you go from here other than just more wins.
Just thank God for the race win, and I'm just happy to make this round win, and we're happy, brother. I can't be happier. Thank you.
Well, as I was just telling another one, Billy Edwards, he said, we're in the finals. I said, no, sir, you're not in the finals. You've won the finals. So this ain't race win. This is finals win. Lyons, Indiana. Makes that ride back home to Florida a little shorter.
Yes, it does, brother. Thank you.
Congratulations. We'll see you in the winter circle.
All right.
Gabriel, brother, it's been a long day. The old 31 Ford has stood tough with you, but Alan Gaulden, that Corvette, the whole frequent flyer team, Dave and the crew, that is a tough order. No question about it. But genuinely, I think you got to be pleased with the performance today.
I'm tickled what we got. I mean, come out here and compete with a guy like that in a car like that. I'm really pleased with what we got.
Well, David Lancaster, the announcer, was hollering over the radio that you did. I don't know the numbers, but you did strap a whole shot on him. And as we talked earlier, you can only do what you can do, and it looks like you've done your absolute best. Nothing to be ashamed of. Drive out of here with your head held high and look to the next race.
I was looking back behind my head last 2 and 3 and 4 gear there, looking over it, and I never saw him. To right at the stripe, he'd come by me like a freight train. So
it was a silver streak.
It was a silver streak for sure.
Congratulations, Alan Gaulden, here at Wagler Motorsports Park, continuing this onslaught that you've had this year in A-Gas. I'm telling you, it's been a ride for you, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, today was a struggle all day. The track was tricky. Every run I let the clutch out. The car was spinning the tires or driving to the clutch or trying to cross the center line. A couple times I had to let off, lost lane choice. I mean, it was a tough race today, So my hat's off to all these guys that got down this racetrack because it was tough.
Well, I saw you one time, you really darted towards the center line at the big end when you were really trucking down the racetrack and did a great job handling it then. But this car, seemed to perform pretty well and come to rise to the top.
Yeah, we have to step it up. It's worked for us. We've been lucky, but today I pulled the high gear down there and it made a right turn. It was like it was going to the right. There was nothing I could do but let off, and luckily we got to the finish line first.
And that's what Quayne Stott wanted. He wanted to put the driver back in the seat, and definitely got, these guys have got one when they put you in there.
Oh yeah, and Phillips, when I ran Phillips, I mean, I knew he was going to be fast, so I couldn't cut him no slack.
I know you guys made a huge pull to get here, and it proved to pay off for you today in the big trophy, and another great points day for you as you extend your lead here in A-Gas.
Oh yeah, and Gabe in the final round, that guy, he's tough. He left me sitting on the starting line. I'm like, oh God, and I wasn't sure if I was going to make it around him or not. I seen the back of his car the whole run. But I just want to thank God for this race today. I want to thank Dave for owning the car, let me drive this car. Kim, the backup girl, she's been awesome. Couldn't do without her. Phil Roberts, Toby Gant, Lee Blackwell, Michelle Blackwell, Pat at Ram Clutches. He's been a blessing in helping us. Wilson Manifold's been a blessing helping us. Everybody has, and Scott at Par Racing giving us such a good motor.
All right. Well, that sounds good. I want to congratulate you again. Your winner today in A-Gas right here at Wagler Motorsports Park.
Drag races in the history of the event.
All right, Mitch Stott, what a great day we had here at Wagler Motorsports Park, and we'd be remiss if we didn't mention to our fans, first and foremost, Jeff Madden is okay. He was taken to the hospital for precautionary reasons. He is resting comfortably there at the hospital after a pretty nasty accident.
One of the, I'm not going to say the nastiest accident I've ever seen because I didn't see it take place. I did, however, go talk to Todd, which was in the front row seat. Todd was racing him when this happened. Todd told me that the car went into the net. The net done its job. I was at first concerned about the net doing its job, but Todd in fact stated that the car hit the net and it then pole vaulted over. The rear end come up and it pole vaulted over the net. But the point is that car sustained major frame damage, chassis damage that I do not normally see. But Jeff walked away. We're going to head and call it unhurt. I know he's sore, I know he's got bruises, but as far as we know at this point, nothing broke, nothing bent, nothing missing.
And that is a testament, and we thank God for that at this time. That first and foremost, we want to thank God for that. But what a great event we had here today. I mean, I'm going to call this a historical event because every winner that we had here today repeated from our race in Piedmont.
That's what, you're not talking about that previous of setting up for this, and that is just amazing to me. Every single class winner from Piedmont repeated here today, and some of them done it, with obviously really padding that points lead that they've got, and others moving ever closer to that points lead. So it's just an amazing. Apparently, these two racetracks were exactly the same.
They really were, and what a amazing feat. And now we're going into our next race at Mooresville to think about that. Another great racing venue right in the heart of racing country, and we'll be moving back to the East Coast. But I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the fan response here today and the people that come through the turnstiles, and we got to thank One Way Technologies for that.
Well, One Way Technologies obviously sponsored this event as a single series. CPM sponsors the entire Southeast Gassers Association, but One Way Technologies really went out here and promoted this thing, and they gave us the ability, and they're the reasons why we're here anyway. Approximately 4 years ago, Sam Jones, the drag racing great he is, put this whole program together. And so, yes, One Way Technologies, Sam Jones, Jeff Jones, Chris Grace, the entire crew over there, hats off, man.
And I tell you, parking was at a premium today because I came in and they were already to the ticket booth out there.
We at this racetrack, people up here love our style of drag racing. It's proven, every time we come here, we pack the house. They line up out the streets to get here. What a great testament for the power of the Southeast Gassers Association. What a great testament for preserving drag racing history, that it's alive and well.
And we are so excited to be there and look forward to coming back. I mean, 500-mile trip for us, and we draw this kind of crowd. It is a testament to the racing that we're putting on here for people.
Well, nail on the head, David. Our racers, if we don't have our racers here, then the show does not go on. And what a dedicated group of drag racers Southeast Gassers Association has been blessed with, and I mean blessed. Unless God wasn't favoring us, we just wouldn't have those kind of people.
I agree with you, and that brings forth a good closing point for us, and I feel like that should be the one way you take us out, Mitch.
We can do that. Dear Heavenly Father, we so praise you and we thank you, and we give our thanks and blessings to you, Father, that you allowed us all safe travel up here, and we pray for our safe travels back. We praise you for the blessings you've bestowed on this Gasser Racing organization, for we know without your support, without your desire, and without us trying to spread the great word of Jesus Christ, that we would have never attained the successes that we have. So it is all in you, dear God, and in Jesus' name, holy name, we pray. Amen.
Greatest drag races in the history of the event.